Welcome back. A $20,000 grant will pave the way for safety upgrades at a rail crossing near Moses Lake. The Washington Utilities and Transportation Commission approved the grant for Columbia Basin Railroad to pay for replacement batteries and upgrades to train detection sensors at the Road 3 Northeast crossing east of Moses Lake. The upgrades to train detection will improve safety by warning pedestrians and drivers of approaching trains. The batteries improve the reliability of the active warning devices in the case of a power failure at the crossing. About 2,400 vehicles, including 12 buses, use the crossing daily. The upgrades must be completed by June 15th. The rail line included in the project runs from the Port of Moses Lake south to Canal and is the busiest short line in eastern Washington. The Grant County Sheriff's Office is looking for someone who damaged a cell phone tower building about 20 miles north of Moses Lake. The Inland Cellular building is in the town of Stratford and was found with extensive damage on April 2nd. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, the building houses electronic equipment and had nearly $200,000 in damage. The electronics were not damaged and cell service was not interrupted. The Sheriff's Office believes a vehicle caused the damage, and that vehicle would likely have noticeable rear-end damage. Anyone with information is asked to call the Sheriff's Office at 509-762-1160 or send information to crime tips, grantcountywa.gov. Grant County is collecting hazardous waste in Moses Lake from businesses on May 1st. Grant County solid waste officials are inviting businesses and government agencies that generate small amounts of hazardous waste to dispose of it at the Moses Lake Surf and Slide Water Park for a fee. The groups can only generate 220 pounds of hazardous waste a month or less and have less than 2,200 pounds accumulated. Examples of hazardous waste include fluorescent light tubes, paint thinner, pesticides, and more. Spokeswoman Joan Melvin said organizations wanting to participate must register with Grant County Solid Waste before April 22nd. The department charges to dispose of the waste based on the amount and type of waste collected. In Northwest news, Washington state lawmakers are pushing for new legislation to increase safety for oil trains, and concerns grow over the potential for a disaster. KCPQ's Jeff Van Zandt has the details.
3 times a day, trains carrying the highly flammable Bakken crude oil passes through downtown Seattle. Local and state leaders fear thousands of lives are at risk.
With the volatility of this product, there is little can be done on the fire line. They have no choice, as some of our firefighters have said, but just to let it burn.
Senator Maria Cantwell, along with several others, are pushing the Crude by Rail Safety Act of 2015. It would require safer tankers with thermal protection and thicker shells and eliminate older tankers that are prone to easily puncture in a derailment. BNSF says it is working with customers to phase out these old tankers in the next year.
We want unsafe cars off the tracks immediately.
The legislation also calls for $40 million in training programs and grants to communities to update their emergency plans. BNSF says it has trained nearly 2,000 first responders in Washington state, and it has teams who are in contact with them during an emergency.
It would be nice to create a system where our dispatch center would be notified when these type of trains are running through the city.
The danger of derailment is real. In July of 2013, 47 people died in Quebec when a Bakken oil train derailed. Last July, a train carrying 28,000 gallons of oil derailed in Seattle. Nobody was hurt and no oil spilled. But some fear the next time we may not be so lucky. The train tracks run through downtown right under Pike Place Market. Some vendors want those trains rerouted.
You're talking about the potential of killing thousands and thousands of people at one given time. And that is an insane idea.
Local officials also worry about a derailment in the King Street Tunnel. BNSF says it has spent $10 million upgrading the tunnel and the rail line. If a disaster occurs, they say they'd be ready to respond. BNSF also says it will be meeting with Seattle first responders in the near future to find a better way to increase communication and keep people safe.
And that's going to do it for us here at iFiber One News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.